Welcome to Gym Owner Freedom. I am Scott Carpenter, and I am a former broke, struggling, frustrated, and overworked gym owner that felt stuck no matter what I did to try and improve the business. Once I realized that the answer wasn't what I thought it was, just getting more clients, and after really doing the math on acquisition and churn rates, I realized I wasn't even playing a winnable game to begin with. With my current price structure, mathematically, there was no way I could afford to pay my staff so I could scale up and out of the business, that I can have the time, the money, the impact, and the freedom that I always knew I was capable of. Once I learned how to add value by selling transformational programs to people who needed more than just workouts, everything changed in my life. Today, I own 6 gyms that all run without me, and I am free to pursue my passion projects and work just because I love to, not because I have to. And if that's a goal that we mutually share together, then this is the show for you. I'm going to teach you the framework to make way more money with less clients and open up a world of possibilities to you. Subscribe, leave a review, and tune in every week. It'll change your life. I promise you that. But guys, we are going to get right to it today. And this is a really exciting one for me today because this stuff is so near and dear to my heart. And the people that work with me, you guys know how passionate I am about this stuff. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into why I'm so damn passionate about it. It's because I've screwed up so much in my life. And I'm really passionate about reaching back and helping people who were previously in my situation. So we're going to go right into it. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen right here. Are we good? Perfect. Okay. And guys, this is interactive. So if you got questions, I'm going to open up the chat, leave it off to the side so that we can get right into that. So if you have questions, feel free. If I ask questions, contribute in the chat because it'll help me know where you guys are at. But we're going to talk today about the profit lifestyle, which you're like, what the hell is that? And we're going to get into that first thing, but it's so, so important to me. And the public service announcement I want to make for everyone on this call right now, because we are so busy making our businesses successful that we don't look far enough ahead sometimes. And the public service announcement I want to give to you guys is your gym will not make you rich. And I know we're focused on our business, and we need to be, because our income is what's going to fuel our wealth moving forward. But the main thing is that it's not the end all be all. We have to look further ahead. And man, if I knew what I know now 10 years ago, it would be unbelievable. But your financial security won't happen unless you take action on it, unless you know what to take action on. It's not going to happen by accident. It is not easy out there. We've all seen what's going on with inflation, right? We've all had that creeping mind, the creeping voice in the back of our head is like, hey, how long can I keep doing this? Will I have enough to eventually retire? Right? These are all things that we constantly stress about. But the good news is if you do this right, you'll never have to worry about money again. And so that's what I want to show you. I want to show you that you can think a little bit further ahead, and the things that you do now will have massive implications for you and your family just 3 to 5 years from now. You can build an amazing life. And what we're going to do in here is not just teach theory. I'm actually going to walk you through the things that I've royally screwed up on. And I'm going to walk you through the things that I've done that are going to pay dividends for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 years and help me create generational wealth. And I want you thinking bigger. That's one of the main goals on this one. I am going to share even just the real estate and infinite banking. Like the moves that I've made over the last 3 to 5 years have set it up for in 20 years. I know this is not including any businesses that I own, that I operate, or that I've invested in. If we just look at what I have done with infinite banking and what I have done with real estate with just five properties, 6, including my primary home, I know I never have to worry about money again. I have, in 20 years, I'll have $750,000 in income coming in without me lifting a finger. This is with me paying property managers. I know my net worth is going to be over $15 million. And I didn't even do much to make this happen. This is just fast forward 20 years, okay? What I did here over 3 to 5 years, you can absolutely do as well. Okay. This is not including businesses, anything like that. And so I want you to see that this is possible for you. But guys, it did not start out this way. I made so many freaking mistakes. I can't tell, self-inflicted, that it's embarrassing. And it has only been recently that I've been actually being comfortable sharing this. My wife doesn't even know some of these mistakes that I've made. And so I have learned the hard way, and I have kicked myself in my own nuts over and over again. It's ridiculous how stupid I am in some ways, but this is hard. Life is hard. Business is hard. And I've been broke for most of my life. It's not like I had money from my parents or something like that and I invested it well. I wish that was the case, but I graduated college in what, 2004, started working in the corporate world. And so you're broke then, right? And I was also very stupid. And I had big dreams. I had bought multiple pieces of real estate at this point. Okay. So I had my primary home. I had 2 other pieces of real estate. What happened in 2008? You remember late 2008 into 2009? That was the beginning of the Great Recession, right? So at this point, I've got like tenants that I didn't really know what I was doing. I just had really big eyeballs and I wanted stuff, right? I messed it all up. And so I nearly lost my job. I was severely depressed at this point. But in 2008, that was when I moved out to Arizona. And the catalyst that kind of caused the downfall is I got taken advantage of by somebody. And it was my college buddy's dad who got me to give a personal guarantee on a retail spot to open up a restaurant. And I was like, at that point, I was probably like 22, maybe 20, something like that. And I personally guaranteed it. Well, that went belly up. And I got a judgment for $300,000 by the time I was probably like 24 or something like that. Then the recession was right on the tail of that. And so I had 3 homes that went into foreclosure. I just ran for my problems. I had to meet with a bankruptcy attorney at this point, which was the most humiliating. This is before I moved to Arizona, the most humiliating experience of my life, because I had to sit down with this guy and I finally mustered up the courage to walk in and talk to somebody about my problems. Fact of the matter is, by 25, I'd pretty much financially destroyed my entire future. 300,000 with that, 3 homes in foreclosure, going into foreclosure, all that kind of stuff. And at the end of the day, I'm telling him all this stuff. And you know what he asked me, this attorney? Humiliating to like go in there and tell him how much I've managed to screw things up. And he asked, where did I grow up? Which wasn't far from there. What high school I went to, and what's my father's name? And like, it was so, I can't say how much courage it took me to walk in this office and share all this stuff and ask for help. And then now I'm worried this guy's going to talk to me. He just, the most disapproving look you could ever get, shaking his head. And then I'm worried, like, is he going to like call up my dad? Does he know my dad? Is he going to call my dad and tell, like, I'm embarrassed for my father, how much I've screwed up my life at this point. And this is stuff I've just not shared before. It was very tough. I had to dig out of that. I moved. I had to move. I moved to Arizona. I quit my job that I nearly got fired from. And I'm like, I don't know what I want to do, but I got into fitness. That was my only saving grace in this tough period of time. And it changed my life. It gave me something to look forward to. It caused me from really bad depression. And I was helping my brother at this time, who was 7 years younger. And, you know, his self-confidence, his whole demeanor changed. I'm like, you know what? I want to do something that actually helps people. I don't know what I want to do for the rest of my life, how I'm going to pick up the pieces. But you know what? Let me start as a personal trainer at Lifetime Fitness. I moved out to Arizona, drove my car I bought for $3,500 out there, and just was hand to mouth for years. So that was 2008 when I moved out here. And my credit was annihilated. I couldn't get a credit card to save my life. But I hustled and I worked well. I did well at Lifetime. I got promoted. And I just had to get out of there because it was so much about pressure, sales. and I was there to help people, and I couldn't stay in that. And so I bought a failing gym in 2012, and I got it with seller financing, a little bit of cash I scraped up. I cleaned up my credit by this point almost nearly, but my credit sucked. I could get a $300 credit card that was secured. I had to pay for it. That's all I could get at that point. I was hand to mouth, and I took all that I had, bought a failing gym, and had a seller financing note on it and started. Then I proceeded to grow from there, and I struggled for the first 5 years with my gyms. It was not an easy road. And I was paying down some debt. I'd grown to multiple locations. I met Dave at this point. Dave, you and I at that point were kind of just starting to work together, I think, maybe 2016 or something like that, right? You took over the Glendale, Arizona location, and then everything just melted down. I had one guy, I'll get into the story later, but I had one guy who blew up 2 locations and annihilated me. And if it wasn't for Dave, right here on this call, if it wasn't for Ron, I would have been toast. I didn't file for bankruptcy before. I dug out of that. I rebuilt my credit score, but I would have been sunk again. So it has not been an easy road for me. But when everything just hit me so hard in 2017, and I had to work 60, 70, 80 hours, 80-hour work weeks, we're talking Sunday to Saturday, while trying to raise a 1-year-old son, I was fed the fuck up at that point. That rock bottom for me, and you can see I've had a couple rock bottoms, that was where I decided I need to take this shit seriously. I need to change the direction of my life. I cannot float through this anymore. I got to be very purposeful. And given enough time, the absolute worst things that have ever happened to me have ended up being the best things that have happened to me. They've been the catalyst to completely change the direction of my life, my business, everything. And so I love what Nelson Mandela says here. I never lose, I either win or I learn. And that is so important. Losing is a choice, guys. You either win or you learn. I learn more from my failures, right? And so celebrate those things. But I want you to know, like, this is where I come from. I came from negative net worth, negative self-worth, both of those things. So the things that I'm going to show you, you better believe you can do this too. Because if I have done this, starting from the biggest hole in the world, you can do this. I had to pay back hundreds of thousands from everything. I didn't file bankruptcy. It was horrible, but I made it through. Okay. So the profit lifestyle, enough doom and gloom. Okay. I'm going to paint the other side of this picture. What you can do if you take action on it. And it's awesome. And so what is this thing I call the profit lifestyle? This is why we're all here. This is why nobody in here has jobs. We're crazy. We're out of our minds, taking on time and risk, putting our personal finances at risk, making personal guarantees on leases. We're insane. But we do it because there's no other way for us. And I know sometimes at the worst of it, I would have given anything to go back to a 9-to-5 if I could get out of these personal guarantees and come out unscathed and nobody around me had to lose their jobs. I would have done it in a heartbeat. Thankfully, I didn't have an easy out and I was forced to go through it. So the thing is we're entrepreneurs. We are in this not just for the money. We're in this to achieve a certain lifestyle. We have a certain dream that we want to have, which is a combination of a few things. Yeah, it's money, but it's also the time to enjoy it. We want to be in control of our destiny. We want to be in control of our lifestyle, where we spend our time. Okay. So there's 3 components to this. Yes, we have to make big, sexy profits in our business. There's no other reason to have a business. You need to stop settling if you're not where you're at right now and go for it. You need to swing big. Okay. The next thing you have to do is take those profits and turn it into indestructible wealth. And that is something that gives me a lot of confidence to do the things I love to do. I'm able now to really spend my time how I want to spend my time. Years ago, I thought it was early retirement. But when I was there and I could run my business in less than 5 hours a week, 2 hours a week, I was not happy. I didn't wake up with purpose and drive, right? The bottom line is the lifestyle that I've built and that I am still building is going to change and evolve. Same thing for you. You need to make big, sexy profits. You need to turn it into indestructible wealth so you can live the lifestyle that you want to live. For some of you, it's still working 30, 40 hours a week in your gym. For others, maybe it's 5 or 10. But the bottom line is you have to build the lifestyle that you want, period. That's what we're all here for. And let me share a quick win with you that I had, because what I love doing now, I love helping other business owners become successful. I've been through the weeds. And if I can save somebody 10 years of struggling and take them to a place that they never would have been, that is unreal. It is amazing, Dave and Josh and Craig, what we've done with so many people that we've worked with. It's just awesome. And now I get the opportunity to be an angel investor and help other people get into business for themselves or grow their businesses. This is a really quick thing that just came up, which is really cool, that I want to share with you to show you that, guys, it doesn't take tons of money to make tons of money. It just takes the right vision, a vision big enough, and it takes some know-how and some strategy. So there's a place in Glendale, Arizona, Renewed Med Spa and Tanning, that was for sale. This came across to me because one of my operators at one of my gyms had some health issues. He runs 2 locations. No, with those health issues, he no longer has the capacity to do that. So I needed to find somebody to run my Glendale, Arizona location, the same one that Dave used to run. And somebody I knew for years. This is just the right timing for him. But his wife was also trying to get her own business. She runs her esthetician business right nearby the studio. Okay. And she does great. She's got a couple of people underneath her. You know, she brings in $15K a month in revenue, a little over $9K a month in profit, which is great. And this med spa and tanning place for sale, somebody trying to retire, somebody's just working part-time, needs to get out. It's bringing in almost $20K a month. It's only profiting 5 at this moment, but it's suffered from lack of attention, right? So it's a pretty cool opportunity for her to buy it because she's renting space, paying $2,200 a month now. She could walk into this, net an extra 5K, right? Reduce $2,200 a month on rent and have this built-in customer base of hundreds of people. Like, what a win-win. The problem is, you know, it's a pretty good sale price, $150K. She was able to get $90K seller financing. She's got $20K on a 4-year loan she was able to go, but she's $40K short no matter what they try to do and how they try to achieve financing. Well, this is the cool thing when you're living the profit lifestyle. You get to just use your brain to make money and to help other people. So it's a really quick thing. Like, what would you do here? You know, 40K short. So here's what I did. I'm like, hey, if you run into problems, here's what you want to do for financing. If you run into problems, come back to me. I would love to help. And they tried the things with the lenders, couldn't get it to happen. So I'm like, cool, let me figure out how I can do this. So I fronted the 40K loan. I put it as a loan, structured at 14%, paid back to me over 3 years. Okay. And then I'm going to act as a business advisor because the knowledge that I have is going to help really catapult that med spa business like crazy. So we structured it instead of equity. I'm like, I want you to have 100% equity in this business. I'll put up the money. We'll structure it as a loan, but I'll get paid 4.5% on the royalty for 3 years. And after that, I'll go down to 2.5. So I get to go in there, make this dream happen for her. She's going to walk in there making a lot more money with 0 cash out of pocket. And guess what it does for me? I will have an 88% cash on cash return per year. I'll put up 40K and after 3 years, I'll have $105,000 coming back. I get almost all my money back in about 13 months, give or take. Okay. And then I'm going to create royalties in perpetuity, making 10 grand a year cash flow. And this is assuming no improvement. We will. That'll probably be 15 or 20K. But it's a really cool thing because I didn't need, let's say you don't have $40,000. I don't need to have the $40,000. I have lines of credit that I can just take, that I can get money at 6 to 9%, put it over there where I'm going to get 14%. And now I've made an infinite return on my money. And so these are things that if you open yourself up and learn these things, these are things that you can do too. So with the profit lifestyle, three main things: make big, sexy profits with your business, turn those profits into indestructible wealth that pays you money every single month so that you can live comfortably and have the profit lifestyle. So you're in control over where you choose to spend your time. All right. So we're going to go over exactly this in this training. So there's two objectives. Number one, I want you to expand your vision of what's possible for you to achieve with your business, with your wealth, and the lifestyle that you want. And number two, I'm going to invite you to join me in the profit lifestyle. Okay. And we have 8 spots where we're going to give our PT Legends high ticket launch program for free. Now, I'm not going to give you the link on this. It's an application. I'm not selling directly on here. You didn't get the opportunity to get it right away. We have to get on a call first. I want to make sure this is the right thing for you first. Okay. So I'm not going to give you the link. I don't want anybody to jump the gun because there's only 8 of these things to give away. And if you don't know what our high ticket launch is, don't worry, I'll tell you that. It's insane. But the main thing, guys, is if you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get to where you want to be. And there's 2 main problems that I see with so many of us is, number one, you don't have a vision that's big enough. And that doesn't drive you to compel you to take action. And if our vision isn't big enough, we just coast through life. If our vision isn't big enough, it's just our business runs us. Our life runs us. We're reactionary. But if you have a big enough vision, you'll go out and seek it. And here's what I want for you guys. I want you guys to have this big vision. Do not wait until you're like me in 2017 and you are completely screwed in your business. Like, that was the catalyst for me. I was fed up. I was hurt so bad in trying to raise a 1-year-old and literally working 70, 80 hours a week. It was horrible. And I'm like, I have to take this shit seriously. Don't wait for that, guys. Get your big vision now. I was settling for a lot of years. And the problem is, if you just settle for a lot of years and you just kind of take what comes, the minute you hit a hardship, it hits you hard. We've had that with COVID. We're getting that now. You know, we got inflation hitting, combined with an election year, combined with, for a lot of you, paid ads are shitting the bed. Okay. Do not wait and just bleed out or just accept a mediocre business. You can change this. So there's 2 main problems, right? Either one, you don't have a vision big enough, or 2, you don't know how to make it happen. And we're going to solve both of those today. But I want to challenge you. What do you want to be doing 3 years from now? Can you think further out 10 years from now? Do you still want to be running your gym? That might be a yes. That might be a no. But where do you want to be 3, 5, 10 years from now? It's hard to think that far out. I can get really crystal clear on 3. 10, I start to get fuzzier. And this is going to change as you continue to achieve more. Your vision for your life will change because you don't even know what's possible at this point. If I went back 5 years, first of all, PT Legends didn't exist. There's so many things that I didn't even know. I would have never guessed I'm doing what I'm doing now, and I'm at where I'm at now because I didn't know what I didn't know. Your vision will change. But what I need you to do right now is start thinking, where do you want to be in 5 or 10 years? And if that's hard, where do you want to be in 3? If you're working 50 hours a week in your gym, do you still want to be? How many hours? For some of you, you're already doing really well. And but you're not living up to your potential still. You know you have more to give. You know you have more to do, but you're just not sure what that next thing is yet. It could be multiple locations. Adding different locations. It could be, now I want to bolt on and grow beyond 4 walls where I don't have much overhead. I want to bolt on an online coaching business. It's very profitable. Some of you might want to exit your gym. Some of you might want to do business coaching. The knowledge that you have, the fitness industry is tough, guys. You are so far above and beyond so many other business owners, and they can use your help. You have no idea. We have people in our system that are doing this kind of thing right now. Maybe you want to get full-time into investing or business acquisitions or real estate investing. But how much time are you working? What kind of experiences are you having? What does this future for you look and feel like? You need to sit in that a little bit, because it needs to be big enough where you're like, yeah, I'm not going to sit on the sidelines anymore in life. It might not always be smooth, guys, but I'm going for it. And if you live once on this earth, you better make it worthwhile. That's my challenge to you. Stop wasting time. Stop letting the current take you where it goes. If you don't know where you're going, you're not going to get anywhere you want to be. I can promise you that. So first step, figure that out. And then let's make sure we got step one squared away. Make big, sexy profits. So how do you do this? Now, some of you guys are already aware of some of these things and have been working with us with it, right? So the key in the gym business to making big, sexy profits right now is leading with price to win the game. Unless you are a Planet Fitness and you are the lowest price, this is a hard game to win or impossible. Everything that has changed over the past several years with acquisition, with ad costs, with no-show rates skyrocketing, you know how hard it is to get people to show up for a consultation in your gym, right? Exponentially harder than it was a few years ago. Leading with price is the easiest way to win the game. Just no more than, 3 or 4 hours ago, I was on with a gym owner, 170 clients, but has been steadily losing ground, right? I think it's maybe like 150 some now, actually, within the past couple months. It's dropped a little bit. He's only charging 120, 130 bucks a month. It just will never. And you got grandfathered people too, on top of that. Just not going to happen. It's just not going back the other way. You've got to switch things around. For a lot of you, we teach you how to bolt on a high, mid, and low ticket offer to whatever business model you're running and make far more money with far fewer clients. That's the recipe. It's the easiest way to get there. So everybody teaches the opposite, right? It's, hey, run tons of challenges, right? Low price, high volume, a lot of ad costs, a lot of problems, a lot of people, high churn, all that kind of stuff. And that could lead to some burnout. We teach you how to attract dream clients into your business that pay you way more, that you get to be more than just a rep counter. You get to be more than somebody who just gives workouts. You get to be a coach. You get to be a mentor, and they will pay you handsomely for it. And those 3 types of offers, you got your high ticket mentorship. You've got your mid ticket that includes nutrition accountability. And you got some people who just do your workouts. And it doesn't matter if you're large group or semi-private or one-on-one, you can build this into your specific business model and you can see some big changes, right? So that's what a good profit and loss statement would look like. You don't have to do $1 million in revenue to bring home $250,000 in profit in a location. These are things that we share with you. These aren't theory-based things. We show you things in real life. And those are the big things that you need to do. So leading with price to win the game is the easiest way to win in 2024. Anybody can bolt it on and do that. The next thing is leads. Getting asses in the seats is a lot harder. And you need a paid strategy. Well, you don't always. Sometimes a lot of you guys that we work with are great just organic. Jeff, if you're on the call, I can't see. There's a lot of people on this call. I think like 46 or something. So I can't see all the heads. But Jeff, out of St. Louis, still doesn't even do paid ads. He gets everything from our 5 Mile Celebrity strategy. He does it all organically. He's signing up 1 high ticket client per week on average, more than that overall, but 1 a week. How much is his at, Dave? His high ticket at?
It's at 2K. I'm going to keep on challenging him. He's going to push it to 2,500. Maybe after this big shout out on this call.
Yeah, it's a 9-week that he does. Or 12? 12. He does a 12-week. He does a 12-week. A lot of us do 9. He does a 12, and it's only 2K. It's not even a high ticket one, but he crushes it with it. And we're having up prices, but Bottom line is all his organic stuff. He's following our systems to a T, and he's not even turned on paid ads. I don't even think he wants to. He's getting everything he needs from it. But once you're playing a winnable game because you're actually charging your worth, and you've got a consistent, steady source of lead flow that's diversified. So if an algorithm changes, it doesn't just implode your business. The next steps is to make sure to build your team. You need heavy margins for this to build a team and keep them forever. And you just have them execute simple systems so that you automate profits. And you can automate profits and you can still work full time in it. If you work full time, I want you closer to this 50% profit margin. Out of all revenue coming in, half should be total profit if you're working full time in there. If you are working virtually not at all, your margins could be closer to 30%. And that's okay too if you're only working a couple hours a week. I think we'd all take that, right? But I want to see big, sexy profits. I don't care as much about revenue, guys. Revenue can be a vanity metric. I know gyms that are doing close to $1 million, but they're not very profitable. You can do more with less. So you need a winnable game. And yes, you want to figure out where you're going and where you're going to be 3 years from now, down to 1 year, down to 90 days. And you got to figure out who's doing what in the gyms. And you need to make sure you got the right people in the right seats, moving in the right direction. From there on out, like, let's just make sure with a profit predictor, the model is going to work based on your average client value, based on your churn, based on your acquisition rate, based on your expenses and your payroll. Let's make decisions so we can see what your business looks like in 6 months, in 12, 24, 36 months. Build the winnable game. And from there on out, it's just running a simple system. So you know your metrics, you know what you're doing every week, the to-do items get done, and you can hand this off to your employees to run and get leverage. It's not rocket science. But a lot of times we just don't have the right strategy altogether. So step one is doing exactly that. And if you guys have seen our stuff, you guys know Shannon Logan has done this to a T, right? A great example is somebody before COVID who was doing well, right? 195 clients and in the 30K a month revenue. So doing great, mostly large group, little bit of one-on-one, but things changed after COVID, right? She implemented these systems in her business and it just evolved over time. And she works with 40% fewer clients, doubling revenue, which allowed her to go from 11,000 square feet to 4,000 square feet. And she keeps her group, downsized it, and does overlapping personal training, which is much more scalable. Now, not everybody needs to do that exact model. Everyone's model is a little bit different. And what we'd have you do would be a little bit different. But she has implemented step one to a T. And doubling revenue while working with 40% fewer clients and taking your square footage and decreasing that by, like, I don't know what that is, 60%. I cannot tell you what that does to her profit margins. It's insane. But more than that, she's barely in the gym anymore. More on that later and the lifestyle that she's building. But step one, big, sexy profits. Let's not overcomplicate it. You don't need to add all these ancillaries and programs and this and that. You just need to do a few things right. And a lot of you on this call are already working with us to do that, right? We've got a high ticket launch. You're running the 5 Mile Celebrity paid and organic strategies, and you're running Gym OS and going to the moon, which is great. Okay. So everybody who's not doing this stuff, okay, write this down. Write this down in your notes. I will take the profits of my business seriously. It's powerful to write that down. A lot of us just don't take this shit as seriously as we should take it. I didn't for the first 5-6 years in business, and I got burned so bad. I can't tell you. It hurt so bad. That one employee was employee number one, and I trusted him. He ended up being a sociopath level liar. And I didn't find out about it. There was so much hidden stuff that came out later. But I coasted through business, and I put myself in a very vulnerable spot. And I'm like, I'm never doing that shit again. 2017 was when I got serious about taking the profits of my business seriously. And everything changed in my life from that point forward. This is when I joined masterminds. This is when I started reading well over 100, 150 books since then on everything under the sun, from finances to, buying commercial buildings with SBA 504 loans, sales, this, that, personal development, Stoic philosophy, you name it. This is where I geeked out. I spent multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars in different coaches, masterminds, courses, books, you name it. I got serious about it. And it's not just about the business, it's about life. In there is a lot on how to be a good father, how to be a good husband, all these different things. So you got to take life seriously. Write that down, because we just coast too often. And man, if I just got serious about things earlier, wow. I mean, but it's all a journey, and I learned from that. And it was necessary for me to go through those things to become the person that I am now. And so I'm grateful for everything. But I also need to encourage you to stop coasting, stop settling, because it's really easy to do it. And I've been there multiple times. Okay. Profit lifestyle, big, sexy profits. What do we have to do next? Build indestructible wealth. We talked about this. Your gym alone won't make you rich. Yes, you need to take the profits seriously, but what you do with the profits is way more important. Okay. What you do with it, this is huge. And this is stuff that, listen, even if you're still working on step one, you need to do some aspects of step two. And you need to learn this stuff now to know what's coming down the pipeline. Okay. So there's a few things that you have to do with the profits of your business to safeguard them. So first of all, you have to protect it from yourself. You need to have a lifestyle budget. So the first thing I see people do when they start, like, they'll go in our high ticket launch program, Dave, they will crush it, right? They'll bring in, we've had dozens of stories in 12 weeks of people bringing in 20, 30, 40, $50,000 in new business. Happens all the, a lot of that's in 1 month, Dave. I mean, how many people have we had that have done at least $20,000 in new business in their first month?
Yeah, probably 20 to 25 at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. And some literally over 50 grand in new business in their first month. Absurd. But what happens sometimes is then they'll buy the new car. They'll take the 2-week vacation to Italy, and then they lose their flow, and they're foolish with their money. And one thing that has saved my ass was the fact that I kept my lifestyle budget small until I started growing wealth. And then I used my wealth to afford the different things. Like, I'm in my dream home now, right? I've got a really big office. We're able to fly in everybody, get them together here, all that good stuff. We're going to be here forever. It's a big home. It's right on the mountain. It's got the pool. It's got the spa. It's got everything I want. But I waited a long time to make that happen, because what I did, I invested the profits of the business until those profits then paid for my dream home forever. That's the idea. So you need a lifestyle budget. And yes, I want that to expand. I want you guys to live life and have experiences now. This is not about waiting till you're 65 to have experiences. Screw that. That's horrible. Okay. But everything in due time. So I want you to have a lifestyle budget and sweep the profits of your business. You need a cash flow tracker to figure out where you're going. Does anyone on this call already have a high yield savings account? That's step one. Hey, just a quick reminder to everybody, if you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 more this month, every month, by making more money with less clients with transformational programs, and create a consistent flow of high quality leads, you can learn more about what it's like to work with me and my team at PT Legends and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. It is such a no-brainer that have more than pays for itself when we teach you how to enroll just two case study clients. Really, that's it. So go to CoachScottCarpenter.com and learn more about it. Now, those of you working with me, you better believe you've got that, okay? But a high yield savings account is just, you can get it through Ally or American Express or whatever it is. Brian, raise your hand. I know you do. You're really good with money. But you can set one up in 15 minutes. Eric Schreiber has all this money in this account that he's crushing it. Couple locations. He's growing. He's doing a lot of awesome stuff. He's in our profit lifestyle, right? One of our first calls, he's got this money sitting in an account, doesn't know what to do with it because he doesn't know where he's going to invest it yet. And I'm like, is that just sitting in your normal Chase savings account? Yeah. Well, he's getting like nothing on that. I'm like, go here, open this up. He's making $13,500 a year now in 15 minutes just by moving the money. It's something like $1,100, $1,200 a month. He's getting paid for nothing just moving into a high yield savings account. He's like, my wife told me to thank you. She's like, this is the best financial advice we've ever gotten in our lives. I'm like, what are you talking about? We haven't even done anything yet. But it's crazy to realize like we didn't learn this stuff. We didn't learn what to do with our money. And if you're like most people, you're going to end up with not very much. You're going to be on subsistence living towards retirement if you don't take these steps. Do not think for a second that you're going to sell your gym someday and have enough to live on. You'll probably get a 3-time multiple on your profits. And I don't think you can retire on 3 times your annual income right now, right? So you need a lifestyle budget and sweep account. You need to be able to track asset performance and see, maybe you acquire a rental property. Great. And maybe you're cash flowing $400 or $500 a month. That's great. But what you fail to realize is like what that actually means for you in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and all the different ways you can make money, from cash flow to appreciation to amortization, right? All those different things. You need to be able to see it because then you will take action on it. So we're going to get into that, but Wealth OS is a tool that I've created. Like we have Gym OS to run your gym. Wealth OS is a tool that I've created to be able to manage everything that you need and be able to see it very clearly what something will do for you in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. So another big proponent of this, you have to dig your well before you're thirsty. I don't care if this is for a safety net or if this is for you to invest in future real estate, business acquisitions, growing multiple locations. Nobody starts getting access to credit and capital until they need it. But guess what, guys? You're a small business owner. You know that the big banks don't like you. You have to play the game and put things in place now, because when you need money, guess what the bank doesn't want to do? It ain't going to give it to you. They only want to give you money when you don't need it. So you need to plant seeds and you need to start farming and growing those seeds. You need to get access to credit and capital now before you need it. Because when there's a dream opportunity sitting right in front of you, you can hop on it. You guys saw I'm getting 88% cash on cash return from that med spa deal, right? I don't even need to have 40 grand cash on hand. I can just go to my line of credit and transfer it. It's there in a day. And I can just make that lucrative investment because I've already planted those things, right? I've dug my well before I'm thirsty. Even if it's just as a backup in case shit hits the fan. You got a medical thing which throws your business sideways. You need backups. So dig your well before you're thirsty. You also need to kill your tax bill. And so many of you suck at this, to be frank, because you leave it up to your CPA. And while CPAs can be talented, they will not find all of these things. You can deduct. We have such an advantage being business owners. It's not even funny. If you have the right tax strategy, you can crush it. And like, there's just so many things that you can do, but your CPA will not find them all. You cannot abdicate your responsibility to learn this stuff. Okay. You have to learn this stuff for yourself. You're going to have to bring some of this to your accountant. Okay. You will. Absolutely. But man, you should not be paying much to the IRS. You should be able to deduct a shit ton. And that is a big advantage. Making 200 grand as a business owner should be like making 400, like 300 plus grand, 300 to 400 grand as an employee. It's that big of a difference if you make that. Taxes will be the biggest theft of your wealth if you don't play the game. So play the game, okay? Also, Dave Ramsey. Anybody a Dave Ramsey fan here? Okay. I see yeses and I see nos. There's good and bad with this guy. Okay. When you look at all the pundits out there, Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, the advice everybody gives: don't ever spend money. Don't buy Starbucks. Just save until you're old and broken and you're 65, and then you can enjoy things. Fuck that. And I like Dave in certain things. You know what he's good at? He's got a great message in what I'm talking about, which is protect the money from yourself first. Don't get into crappy consumer debt. Okay. Don't buy the $80,000 car when the $15,000 car will do fine, unless you're at a certain point. Then I say, yes, get the damn car that you want, man. You've earned it. Your wealth is paying for that forever. Enjoy it. Right. But his investing advice sucks. This is not what the 1% do. This is not at all. And you can't just, this is where, like, I can shortcut you on this, guys. I have researched and read everything, and I put these things into place over years. Take, for instance, this. It's right here. It's like, I don't know, 650 pages. Don't read it. It took me forever to be able to understand it after a while. But at the end of the day, the common knowledge out there is to give your money to a wealth advisor who'll put it in like 401ks and IRAs and that shit, who puts in the market, and you set it and forget it. Now, that is a way to go. Okay. But I don't think you realize, do you guys know how rich Wall Street is? Yes. It's absurd. That whole system is set up to take 60, 70+% of your wealth. You don't even know it. You're never going to see it coming. It's so hidden and so perverted. It's gross. Now, I'm not saying don't invest in stocks and bonds or index funds. That can be a strategy. But know that if you're going to your Edward Jones investment advisor, they have hidden fees after hidden fees after hidden fees. And the math that they give you is a lie. It's a flat out lie. They'll work with average returns, not actual returns. That varies a lot. They do not factor in the fact that this will be taxed when you retire. They do not factor in how much the down years hurt you. This is straight from his book. Just to give you an idea of how much comes in taxes and fees. A one-time, let's say you put in 10 grand in a tax advantage account at 20. When you're 80, and it grows at 7% per year, when you're 80, it's going to be $574,000. But there are management fees and other expenses associated with that. Okay. If it's 2.5, you know what you're going to end up with? Anybody have a guess? Just 2.5% with all the different fees regarding whether it's the mutual fund, the tax advisor fees, you end up with $140,000. You'd never think of it at 2.5%. But man, it hits you hard. You cannot rely on the advice that everybody knows. You know, the common knowledge. Quick question. How many people are in the top 1% of income and net worth people? That's pretty easy. It's 1%, right? This isn't the shit that they do. They don't do Dave Ramsey stuff. Not at all. Okay. Everybody tells you just to throw it in the stock market to do these things. 99% of people are not in the top 1%. Don't listen to the advice given out by 99% of the people. You know who gets rich off of this? Wall Street. Wall Street. So I'm not saying stocks and bonds are not a good thing to do, but I'm saying you can't do it how other people do. You need to take personal responsibility and write this down. I will take my financial education seriously. Otherwise, they are going to steal 60 to 70% of your net worth. You're going to be living off Social Security and just hoping your money doesn't run out. And the last thing I want to do is see you pushing carts at Walmart when you're 65. That would be heartbreaking. My sister's husband retired. Met him, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago in Scottsdale here, went to their house, all this kind of stuff. Great couple, nice house, all that. Retired now. Guess what? He was literally pushing carts at the Walmart 5 miles from my house in retirement. Not a joke. That sucks, guys. That sucks. After he's been through cancer, it's not good. So there's a lot you need to learn here. Obviously, I can't teach you everything you need to know in this amount of time, right? But in essence, you can create your own family bank. If anybody's heard of infinite banking, that's a lot of what I do and put into play. It's kind of a way to park your cash. It's like the rich man's Roth. I park all the profits from my business into that. And then it grows tax-free, only at 6%, but it never goes down. But tax-free 6% is a lot higher than that. But I put it in there, and I can get access to that money anytime I want. In fact, what I did, I used that money to do the med spa acquisition, that play that I just did. Okay. So what we do here in step 2 is we're going to get you on a lifestyle budget and start sweeping profits. Dig your well before you're thirsty. We're going to kill your tax bill. We're going to have you create your family bank with infinite banking. And then we're going to map out your investment path. Now, the route I chose is I have some in stocks and bonds, not much. I do more real estate than anything. And I also do business acquisitions now. Dude, you have my mind blown, Zach. Yes, good. That's what I want. So let me blow it even further here. So I put my money through, see these IBC policies down here? I'm putting my money in there, which generates cash flow, but I can get access to use that same money to buy real estate. So I just put in 6 pieces of real estate. Yes, it cash flows now. I make money from renting out. I have short-term rentals. I have long-term rentals. One of them is my vacation house, right? I own one of the gyms. I bought the building. I bought another commercial building that I actually acquired part of the business in. We'll get into that in a second. But I'm earning a return of my money in 2 places. Yes, this is all cash flowing me money, but I also make money every time I pay the mortgage. It also appreciates these assets. So when you look at it, sure, I'm making like an extra 80 grand a year, 82 grand a year doing nothing. But every time I just pay the mortgage, I'm making an extra 69 grand. And if I just use 3% appreciation on average, ignore the fact that everything's skyrocketed over the last several years, that's another 158 grand. I'm adding over $300,000 to my net worth, not lifting a finger. I have property managers managing all that too. These are just 6 pieces of real estate, including my primary home. That doesn't cash flow unless I decide to rent it out. I'm also not including the cash flow from the second commercial building because we're paying rent on it, right? But what that does, this is where in 20 years, those mortgages won't be there either. And now I'm making I can count on $750,000 in cash flow in 20 years. And the net worth just from these will be over $15 million. And this is from 5 pieces of commercial property or real estate that I'm making money on, not including my primary home. Now, if I rent that out, that's going to be a lot too, right? Maybe I'm living somewhere else at that point. But I did this in a span of 3 to 5 years, guys, by taking the profits of my business, and you know where I was, destroyed credit, negative net worth. And I said, fuck it, I'm taking this seriously. Big, sexy profits, and I got serious about making the wealth moves. And this is not including any businesses. This is not including any of my gyms. This is not including the royalty that I'm talking about. This is not including any business acquisitions. This is literally just the real estate that I've done so far. I'm obviously not done. But I can guarantee you that I'm going to be a decamillionaire from this, and there's no reason that you can't do this stuff too. So step 2 is we're doing all that. And this is where things get really fun, because once you're making big, sexy profits and you're starting to hand off and buy back your time because you've got a staff running simple systems, you're smart with your money. And so, yes, I want your lifestyle budget to increase over time, but I want your wealth to pay for it. Then you can start living the profit lifestyle. And so what is that? This is executing your investment path. It's creating freedom with your time. It's elevating you and your personal brand to open doors you don't even know exist right now. I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Never would have thought that would have been in the realm of possibility 5 years ago. I never could have dreamed it. Never could have dreamed it. You don't know what you don't know. You're going to become a different person in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. That's the whole goal behind this. You have not even begun to scratch the surface on what you're capable of. This is going to allow you to go big on passion projects, the things that just you wake up and you're excited to do. Obviously, I'm excited to be here, guys. I freaking love this. I've been working harder on this stuff than I have in so long, but it's because I love it. My work is so important. I can't tell you how many lives we've changed for business owners. And because I've been through the worst, it is what I live and breathe for, man. Like, I didn't know this is where I would be, but man, like, I am just like, I'm so incredibly grateful to be doing this. Like, I'm not an emotional guy, but I'm getting teared up with it, you know? It's just so much I've been through. But then expanding your network, man, like doing this with the people that you love, it's just insane. It's insane. So my question to start this up is like, can't believe I'm tearing up, Dave. This just never happens. What's next for you? You know, that 3, that 5, that 7, that 10 years, is it multiple locations? You know, because a lot of times we stay small. We suffer as we try to grow, and then we just stay small. You don't have to be. Do you want to do multiple locations? A lot of you do. A lot of you don't. Like, nope, I don't. And this is up to you. Do you want to bolt on and grow an online coaching business? Do you want to sell your gym? Do you want to be a coach for business or get into full-time investing, right? All that stuff. We're going to execute your investment path, right? And a big part of this is like acquiring lifestyle assets, things that make you money, but you get to enjoy life. I bought a vacation house in Flagstaff, and I wanted primarily to raise my family. It ended up being more lucrative than I thought. It's we Airbnb it, right? It's 2 hours, you know, less than 2 hours from door to door from our house. And it's just a totally different world. We're in Arizona, right? It's beautiful, but it gets hot. And here it's 25 to 30 degrees cooler. In the tall mountains, you're like 7,000 feet in elevation, tall ponderosa pines. It's just freaking amazing, man. I can't tell you how awesome it is giving my kids experiences up there and doing stuff. Lifestyle assets. I'm going to make great money on this business with virtually no risk, and I can completely use other people's money on it. But this is also what I left out. This is only like a half mile from the gym. Do you know this deal, how much we're going to be able to filter clients back and forth to just blow these businesses up? It's nuts. And I just use my brain power to create this kind of cash flow, right? 88% return cash on cash. I'm looking at my first 3 years. What am I netting? 38 grand a year, something like that. And I barely did anything, but it's because I've accumulated this knowledge and I put this into place. Creating freedom with your time, right? I never would have been able to take my family to England for a couple of weeks. My wife is English. You know, we didn't get to go back there for years and years and years. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the money, you know, but her cousin had a wedding. We're there. We got to stay there for 2 weeks. We got to see everything. It was amazing. Never would have happened before. I couldn't afford it. I can't tell you how many, I'm from Chicago. I can't tell you how many weddings of my friends I had to miss because I had no money to go back home. Elevating yourself and your personal brand, where you want to go. Like I get to be on National Academy of Sports Medicine and write business development chapters for them and get interviewed and do this different stuff. It's awesome. But passion projects just doesn't always have to be, you know, this kind of stuff either. Some of you guys don't know this. I do historic fencing, which is absurd. You guys are like, what the hell is that? It's HEMA, Historic European Martial Arts. We actually fence, not with those little dinky Olympic foils and epées and stuff, like with real swords. They're blunt, so we don't kill each other. Obviously, we can see we're armored up. But, you know, this was in SoCal tournament. There's like 390 fighters there. This is like 5-year-old Scott living the dream. Disney's Robin Hood. You guys remember that animated one with the fox? I watched that VHS till that tape wore out, man. Like, I've loved swords. I was that dude with plastic swords running, you know, in the back of his shirt, running around the neighborhood. I still am, sadly enough, you know, my poor wife. But, like, I love doing this shit. This is amazing. I love this stuff so much. And here's the cool thing. When you get serious about taking your business and your profits and your wealth seriously, guess what I got to do? My favorite sword manufacturer, Castile Armory, the owner, Sam, awesome guy. He makes the most beautiful swords in the world. He put a post out there on Facebook. I didn't know him. He's like, hey, I'm trying to grow this thing bigger. I might need some help. Does anybody know any potential investors or any like a start? And we talked several times. And guess what? We have to make this dream a reality. He was bottlenecked in I think it was around 3,500 square foot place. We bought a $1.5 million facility, 10,000 square feet, and we are cranking out swords. And he's able to grow this thing. We are up 49.9% year over year in sales so far this year from last year. And I got to bring my business expertise, which he didn't have. He's a genius with metallurgy and making these things and all that. I got to help him with the marketing strategy, and we're blowing up. We just launched a magazine, an e-magazine, which is amazing too. We're going to take this thing to $3 million in the next couple of years. But this is 5-year-old Scott living the dream, right? If you take your business seriously now, you can do what you want. You're going to expand your network. When you get around people doing big things, you learn so much more. Just taking random trips to Cabo with guys I barely know. But, there's guys in here who's like this guy, Akash, he's a real estate investor in Sacramento. He's done so many deals that I get to learn from, right? Matt Weaver, master marketer. It's just unbelievable when you can have fun and do productive things. And, recently we had everybody out here for our PT Legends meetup in Scottsdale, Arizona, right? We rented a house. We had a private chef for 2.5 days. We had a lot of margaritas, way too many of those things. We had miniature golf tournaments in the backyard. We had cornhole tournaments, and it was a blast. But you get to expand your network and do things with just kindred spirits, which is just amazing. But the bottom line is you get to live the profit lifestyle, and that is the life that you want. One of the coolest things I did was I took my mom to Washington, D.C. I've been wanting to do this for so many years. It was nuts. But my dad's never going to take her. He hates traveling. She's been talking about going to D.C. for 30 fucking years. And I wanted to, but then my wife got pregnant, and then my businesses fell apart. I promised it to her birthday. I wasn't able to fulfill on it, but I got to do it last year, and it was just awesome, man. Really cool. I can't believe I'm doing this, Dave. But it's important. And Shannon Logan, she's doing it. She gets to go to her cabin for a month at a time. She has built her gym where it's not location dependent on her. She's just growing online now, the Fit CEO project. Her goal is she wants to spend more time with her daughter. She gets to do it. Brocksterman on the right. This is the cool thing about expanding your network too. Des, shout out to Kai. He's been in our program for a long time. Des is his right-hand woman. Brocksterman, right? She sold her gym. She netted huge amounts on the real estate, over $1 million. She gets to travel everywhere. She's just growing her Prosper Nutrition business online, right? And she does have her nutrition coaching business with brick and mortar presence, but she's not in it anymore. Cody, oh my God, Cody Parks, the things he's doing, you wouldn't believe. Eric Schreiber doing multiple locations. He's making TV appearances. He's competing as a 40-year-old and breaking records for powerlifting. It's nuts. It's so cool. Latasha, she's growing her Metabo method online. She sold her first $5,000 package. Then she had another one, and her other one's at $3K. Just crushing it, right? Another gym owner who's doing other bigger things too. And so, guys, the profit lifestyle, you could be just focused on number 1 right now, and that's okay. But you're going to start to build out number 2 and 3. You need a bigger vision. This is what's going to happen for you. And it's a cycle, right? Take the profits, turn it into wealth, enhance your lifestyle, and keep it going. Multiple turns of this thing. You have a few turns of this gear, and you have a different life, guys. You have a different life. So hopefully, have I challenged you guys to think bigger? Throw in the comments if I have, because I really hope I nailed it on that one. Because this is just, it's all up here, guys. It's all up here. Yes, excellent. Love it, man. Biggest question too. Yes, yes, yes. You love HEMA too. Nice. I love it. I didn't know there was anybody else out there. It's bigger than you'd think. Do you want to learn, grow, and win together? Okay. This is why I put this thing together. This stuff is so important, guys. This is my life's work. Like, I want to take you on the same journey. It's been so painful, but it's so important. And what we're going to do to kick this thing off is, a lot of you guys already know about our high ticket launch for free, or our high ticket launch program. This is Dave, where we've taken through so many people and they just turn their businesses around in 12 weeks in a huge way, right? Save businesses from going under, taken good businesses and made them just blow up. We're giving this away for free for anybody that wants to join the profit lifestyle. And it's you get our whole fulfillment system, you get everything, and it's stuff that we sold for $12,000 in the past for the past 3.5 years. It's done incredible things, and we're giving it away for free for anybody who wants this. I'm not selling the profit lifestyle on here. Okay. There's this link right here. And if anybody watching, you guys are in my private Zoom call. For those watching on Facebook, if Josh, could you like copy and paste that in the comments in there so they can get this? There's a small quiz. It's like maybe 5 or 6 questions that are going to ask, what's your model? Where are you at right now? So I get a sense of kind of where you're at. And then we're going to be able to hop on a call. And if it's the right fit, awesome. This isn't a very expensive program, guys. But who gets in it? I want to make sure you're in it, right? And you're invested in it. But we'll talk on it. I want to make sure it's the right fit for you. And if it's not, and we got to focus on other things, that's great. We'll connect you to the resources of where you're at. Your success is really important to me. The money that I've made, this is my passion business, guys. The money that I've made has been for my gyms. I'm doing great. Okay. This is my passion business. So what you don't have to worry about on here, you are not going to have to worry about a hard sell here. Okay. You're not going to be presented with, if you do this today, you'll save X thousand. Like, no, not at all. Okay. So don't worry about that. Don't let that be hesitation. What I want to do is figure out where you're at, what you need. And if it's just high ticket launch or our grow mastermind, and you're not ready for the profit life, that's totally cool. But take action and fill this thing out. Okay. And then what we can do is hop on a call, see if you're right for whatever it is, and move from there. For those of you who are like, this sounds great, I'm really like focused on step 1 right now, that is okay. And I want to give you the high ticket launch for free for all that as well. So like Hugh has been there, not in a great position, kind of going out, right? But in 2 months, in his first month, he had his best month ever, but he finished at 38K. This is what we talked about with our high ticket launch. Chinar did 30K in his first month, right? T Hutch, you're probably on the call. The 6-week challenge gym, bolted on high ticket, just crushed it. Corey, he's only doing $99 a month out of a 9 round at that time. Did 20 grand in new business. Sierra, we've recently had on our show, and she just went from 25K to 53K in her first, what was it, Dave? 3 months, 4 months? What was it?
Well, she launched, and 3 weeks later, that's what happened. So 6-week build out, 3-week launch.
Yeah. We had to push her out of the airplane though, because she was resisting. And then we kicked her out, and then she just went, right? Devin was somebody who just recently has been through high ticket launch with you, Dave. He did 18 grand in new business within a span of 10 days, for God's sakes. You called it. Like you just knew he's got that talent. Jeff is somebody who started in high ticket launch, and now he's going through everything with the profit lifestyle. He's in a small town, guys. This works everywhere. He's in a small town. It's, I think, like 5,000 maybe population. He's the guy who's just running our 5-mile celebrity playbook to bring in leads, selling them high ticket. He signs up a week, completely changed everything, right? And now he's moving into the profit lifestyle. He's got a podcast. He's becoming a leader in his community. He's getting into business coaching for other businesses because what he has learned now, and again, the fitness business, I've said it, it is so hard. We're selling crap people don't want. You know how good you have to be to succeed in our industry? Do you know how much easier it is for a med spa to make money than it is for us? The skills that you learn, you can become a business coach for those other people, just like I'm doing. Castile Armory is up 49.9%. We haven't even scratched the surface for marketing yet. The med spa is going to explode, right? You can take your gifts and help other people become very successful. And I can promise you that is so rewarding. It's not even funny. Our high ticket launch alone, guys, 12-week program, help you build, self-fulfill, renew it. And you're with Dave and Josh and me. You're with us 3 times a week. What we do is not mailing anything in. Nothing about our stuff is watching some videos and we'll talk once a month and good luck. It's not it. So even if you're just focused in step 1 right now, that's okay. We'll get you in the right program. We'll still give you your high ticket launch for free. We are limited on capacity. That's not a sales tactic, guys. It's because it is very high touch point. We can't take any more than like 8 to 10 people at a time. And we usually run a new group every month. So we just don't have capacity. We can't sign up 20 people a month. We can't sign up 30 people a month. It's just not a possibility. So I don't know if you're the perfect fit for this. Okay. And if you don't know, don't hesitate. Like put this in there, ptlegends.com/quiz. There's the QR code. Josh, did you get that dropped in the Facebook group?
Yes, sir.
Good. So follow that link and book that and fill out that quick application. Gives me an idea of where you're at. Book that call. The first 8 are going to be able to get this thing. I'd love to give it to more. It's just not a reality. So we're limited to that. But we'll start up a new one every month, which is great. And don't fear, guys. You guys know us at this point. You know Dave enough, you know Josh enough, you know me enough to know there's going to be no bullshit. We're just going to tell it to you straight. And we're not going to pressure you. If you got to pressure somebody into making the sale, it's just not going to work. It's never going to work. So this is about you. This is about your journey. And that's it. I only managed to cry twice, which is like a first ever for me. But it's important. Does this all make sense, guys? Josh, Dave, did I leave anything out on this one?
No. This is phenomenal, man. This is great. This is great. I've never seen this side of you. So
yeah,
for anyone on the fence, join, guys. Like that was phenomenal. You get me emotional, Scott. Like I've never seen this side of you. It was really it's very touching, dude. It was amazing. Great job.
Well, you're the crier.
I know. I'm crying for you. I'm like, what's Scott doing to me? I'm that guy. Geez.
Part of it, guys, is just like I haven't and I didn't get to go so in depth about how bad the worst parts of my rock bottoms were. Because there's only so much time. But I sent it just to Zach. You're asking Deb, you're asking for that thing. There we go. I think I sent it. There you go. I put the link again. But the rock bottom has been so bottom, and the 2 that I've really had. And I think that's why it's just emotional, because I just haven't really talked about it a whole lot. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of processing it. Like my wife doesn't even know how bad I screwed things up. The fact that I had all these homes going into foreclosure, and the fact that it doesn't even take 7 years to get stuff off your record, negative stuff. No, it takes longer because bankruptcies don't get processed for a long time. And I had to settle these credit card debts. I had to pick up, guys. I finally faced it because I moved from Illinois. If you remember, everything's screwed up and I had all these homes going in foreclosure. I had my power shut off twice. I had the money to pay for it at that stage in the game, but I had all these collection letters coming in. I didn't even know where to start. My power literally got shut off twice, not once, but twice, because I stuck my head in the sand. And I'm like, I'm done for. And it was just a hard road digging out of there. But man, I moved to Arizona. I started working for Lifetime and I started kind of getting okay. And I'm like, okay, I got to confront this. I got to start confronting this financial disaster that I'm in. I had to go to the post office to get mail because mail will stop delivering to you if you don't pick it up. And I had to get the corrugated plastic bins, multiple of them, and bring it home. And I'd open up every damn thing and sort who I owed money to and figure it out. It was horrible. But I finally owned up. I'm like, I'm going to stop running from my problems. I'm going to do this. And that changed a lot. But it took a lot of courage to get there. And so, guys, the people that, and the reason why this is like really impactful too is because I've gotten on calls with several of you over the last month that are like, hey, my business is running good, but I have all this debt. It could be from COVID in idle loans, like crushing debt. Some of the business loans out there are predatory. And we're in like these cash flow situations, even though the business is technically fine, but we owe so much. It's like we're hopeless. We don't know what to do. And man, have we straightened some shit out with just a call or two and given people amazing hope and a path out in a future. And that is awesome. Like this is important work. Josh asked, does anybody have any questions? Would love to. And you guys can unmute yourself and talk. You guys can throw it in the chat. I would love to answer any questions that you guys have. And I know there could be in the realm, there could be like a billion of them because I went over a billion things. But at the end of the day, you probably are going to have them. And you can feel free to email me. I fill in that app, and then you can also get my information. You can book a call, and you can feel free to hit me up on DM. Facebook is where I'm on the most. Jay Todd, you got a question? Oh, not right now. Okay. It picks up on those hands up. So, all right, guys. Their start application button, but doesn't seem to be working for me. Is it just me? Can somebody else test that? See if it works? Because that would not be good. This is what it looks like. It works for Rob. Deborah, it works. Button worked. Let's see. Barry. So, Barry, can you throw your email in there? In the chat? Heather worked. Derek worked. Barry works. Jay, Deb, Rob. Barry, throw your email in there. Got it. And then I'll just shoot you an email right after this. Cindy works. Good. All right. I'm going to copy that in my notepad, put it over there. And yeah, just check your email. If for some, I'm sure you'll get it, but if for some reason it goes to spam or something like that, just check that. But I'll get it out. I'll get it over to you within, right after this call. So, all right, guys, it's been a long one. I appreciate you guys hanging on this one. And I'm hoping, like I said, my big objection is I want this to be the thing for you guys that changes everything, the direction of your life. And screw the money, guys. This is about you. This is about your family. This is about your loved ones. This is about making the most out of everything. So appreciate you guys coming on. Michael, I got yours too. Just in case it didn't work for you, I will email you directly as well. Got it. So appreciate you guys coming on. Sorry, I got a little choked up there, but it was awesome having you and sticking on for this long. So I'll be talking to a lot of you guys soon. Take care, guys. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you are ready to start making an extra $10,000 a month or more this month by making more money with less clients and create a consistent flow of high-quality leads, you can learn about what it's like to work with me and how ridiculously affordable it is at CoachScottCarpenter.com. And if you got any value out of this episode, please pay it forward and leave a review for this show. It helps other gym owners find the answers to the huge problems that we all share. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.